Maybe I should go load it in or something. I don't know.
Go what?
Load it in my Blu-ray player.
Okay, you can take that moment. Because like I said, we're at the start. No one's here at the start.
Introduction.
Yeah. Introduction coming before Cork's just getting the movie ready. We're not going to jump straight into it anyway. We'll do a little preamble beforehand. But obviously, you see the title, Alien vs. Predator. I've been immersed in the Alien franchise lately, so this seemed appropriate. I watched the first 4 Alien movies, and this one was available too, and I thought, why the hell not? And then I thought, rather than plod through it alone, it'd be good if I could do a live commentary, get Orc involved. So, because I was pretty sure he had access to the movie. So that's what we're going to do. I haven't actually seen this in a long time. I've seen bits and pieces of it over the years, but start to finish, I don't know, it's been at least a decade, maybe even longer. Enough time has passed now that I can pretty much enjoy it. But at the time, it was like a big, big disappointment. It's definitely one of the bigger disappointments of my movie going history, of going to the theater, really hoping for something. See if I can get some of this up. Can at least put it on Twitter or whatever. Yeah. So we will take that and make the link.
All right, I'm back. Got my little dinky remote.
Nice.
On the cheap. Fuck yeah.
There. Putting the link up there if anybody.
See that shit?
For anybody of time. Oh yeah, I had one like that for a Blu-ray player. It's at my parents' house. Very similar look and stuff like that. So yeah, I was just saying, I've gotten. Well, what it started with was I bought this book. It just came out a little while ago. So this is Alien 3. This is a novelization of the unproduced film script screenplay that William Gibson did for the movie that obviously that didn't get made. And it's not the first time. A few years ago they did a comic version of it. Here's the first issue. It's a 5-issue series. There are some differences here, and this is adapted by sci-fi author Pat Cadigan, whom I know who she is, but I haven't read her stuff. But anyway, so that's what kind of made me think. Because I already kind of knew the broad strokes of this, but still, to see it in a book is good. And so I'll just say, where do you stand on Alien 3? What are your feelings on Alien 3?
Okay movie. Don't love it, don't hate it.
Yeah. See, I've always kind of hated it, and rewatching it because watching this is what, or reading this is what made me say, hey, I'll watch the movies again. So I watch Alien, I watch Aliens, which are 2 of my favorite movies. Period. I love those movies. They're just beautiful, perfect movies to me. And then Alien 3 comes along, and I really hate Alien 3. And it's not even, and obviously the big thing is the story, what they do, just killing Newton Hicks off screen and all that. But I just find everything about it so bleak and bland, and I hate the setting. I hate this stupid prison place they're on. It's not like Alien, the franchise, is known for popping with a lot of color. Obviously not. They're dark, desolate movies, but it's taken up to another level in Alien 3. Everything is just, and it makes sense because of where they are. They're in a prison colony on some godforsaken rock out in space, right? But I can't stand looking at it. Everything looks so drab and awful. And I'll have to say, following that up with Alien Resurrection, which I've never been much of a fan either, has given me kind of a new appreciation for Resurrection. I don't think Resurrection's that very good, and I don't like the story there that much either. But I just feel I hate 3 so much that watching 4 makes me feel like 4's, better. I enjoy it a bit more. Plus, it's so weird to me still all these years later that Jean-Pierre Jeunet is the one who wound up directing that. And you can see his style a little bit in it. He brought some of his actors along. that weird French guy, and of course Ron Perlman. So I like the cast a lot better too, even if they're probably not well used. I love Michael Wincott. He's the captain. I'm upset about that though, because he's underused. He's the captain of like the crew that comes in contact with them, and he is the first one to die. They kill him off really fast, which I don't like. And I have to say about the color thing, like Genet actually injects a little bit of color into the series, which makes me appreciate it more too. So yeah, so just having finally first time in a few years. Like, I mean, I watch Alien and Aliens all the time, but 3 and 4 I hadn't seen either in a long time. So watching them pretty much in a back-to-back situation, it confirms some things for me. Still hate 3, and I kind of like 4 more now than I did. What's interesting is they're both are basically considered failures, and 3, of course, is David Fincher's first like full-length movie. He'd been a music video director up to that point. He directed, I think, Vogue by Madonna, which is considered, like one of the most famous music videos of all time. But he kind of inherited a bit of a mess, because as you can tell from like stuff like this, is they went through a few different scripts before they got to the one that they wound up with. Plus, even at this point, I don't think Sigourney Weaver really wanted to come back, and they had to like woo her. They gave her like an extra $5 million. Plus, she had some say over some stuff, and one of the things was like after all the guns and stuff in Aliens, she didn't want like the plot to rely on guns, which I don't mind, because I don't mind the idea that like they're at this prison place and so they don't have conventional weapons to deal with the alien. I mean, that's fine. But I don't know. She just seemed to have a little too much influence going forward. It seems ridiculous to me that if she thought it was stupid for her to come back in the third one, and she insisted she dies in 3, which is something I don't mind about 3. I'm completely fine with her death. It seems appropriate. It seems to fit her arc. Because if you look at her arc in the first 3 movies, you could say, okay, first movie, she's survivor. That's what she does. Second movie, she's protector. She's protecting Newt. Third movie, she like dies, so she kind of like a martyr or something like that, right? So I'm fine with that. So it's really dumb to think like, I don't know, why would she agree to come back for 4 then? It's like, as this weird clone of Ripley, like a couple hundred years later. It's dumb. But yeah, watching them again. So I was gonna say about them being failures. So Fincher basically disowned the movie because, I don't know, probably executive meddling and because of, stuff he wasn't allowed to do. And I don't remember who wrote the full script for Resurrection, but obviously Joss Whedon was at least one of them. And Joss Whedon has also disowned Alien 4 Resurrection, saying, like, they got everything wrong. I don't know, though. Like, he said stuff like the casting was wrong. I actually thought kind of like the casting, like the group of actors. Oh, with one glaring exception. What's her name, Mark? Little dark-haired one from Beetlejuice and stuff. The Klepto.
Wednesday, Tuesday, Friday.
Winona Ryder. Winona Ryder.
There we
Winona
go.
Ryder. I think Winona Ryder.
I got the first letter right. There you go.
I've always thought Winona Ryder's like one of the worst actors of her generation. I feel like
she was in that fucking movie. Holy shit!
Yeah, she's in the movie. She actually turns out to be, because there has to be like an android in every movie. She turns out to be the android, but for her, it's like a surprise. Like in the other ones, although Ash was a surprise too. But in this, they really take you by the thing. So, and the weird part is like Ripley, who kind of winds up like bonding with him. But anyway, I really hate one. And what's even better is like, even if it wasn't her, like her whole role in that movie is just pouting and whining every moment she's on screen. She's just going through the whole movie. Like she's scowling at Ripley saying, I don't trust you. And she's crying, like, oh, we gotta get, like, I don't know. She's just super annoying in that movie. Even if it wasn't her, I wouldn't like the character. But the fact that it's Winona, who is just, it boggles my mind what an awful actress she is, especially if you put her in like a period piece. My God, like The Age of Innocence, or how about that Dracula movie? What's his name's Bram Stoker's Dracula, Francis Ford Coppola. I'm like, my God, like watching her, and I mean, I love Keanu. We all love Keanu, but watching her and Keanu Reeves in that movie is painful. They're so bad. Their accents are so horrible. But anyway, so I did get a new appreciation.
Stranger Things, she's like, not my favorite part of the show, I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, I haven't really seen her in recent years. I mean, obviously she's a lot older now. Not old, but you know what I mean. I haven't really seen her in like a role, like an older role. I'm used to like her 80s, 90s stuff. And she was young and cute. I'm not saying she wasn't cute, but my God. Heathers is a good movie. I don't think she's a bad in that. She's fine. I would have been just fine if it was somebody else, though. Like, it wouldn't matter to me at all if it was somebody else. I guess Heathers is a period piece now. Well, no, it's not, because it was contemporary at the time, but Ben knows that. But anyway, so yeah, which brings us to this movie, Alien vs. Predator, which I saw in theaters. This is the first Alien movie I saw in theaters, which is kind of sad. But the fact is, I was too young to see the others. I wasn't born for Alien. And then I was just I was like a toddler for Aliens. And then, by the time I was aware of the Alien franchise, even three was probably just coming out. I can remember them talking about it on YTV on The Zone, which is pretty funny because that's for little kids and it's an R-rated movie. These are R-rated movies. So even in '97, I still was too young to go to Resurrection. I probably wanted to. I saw it pretty soon. I remember seeing it at a friend's birthday party on video. So that probably would have been like
the
late
theatrical
97.
for AVP is actually PG-13.
Yeah. So there's So there's a problem with it right off the bat, right? So, I mean, I don't have it all up sometimes because, I mean, this is a live commentary. We're not doing an episode of Pocket Dimension here. But, I mean, I realize that, once again, this movie probably had a fairly long genesis because it goes back, right, to because, okay, I'll do this quick. You watch Jason Goes to Hell, and Jason Goes to Hell ends with, like, Freddy grabbing the mask. Everyone's like, oh, like, that means something, right? And then it took them a decade to give you Freddy versus Jason, that before it finally happened. By the time it happened, like, I don't think most people didn't even care anymore. But anyway, so this is similar, except it's a sort of a different thing because nowadays everything we look for these things, but people didn't look for those things back then. Is you watch Predator 2, and at the end Danny Glover goes into the ship and they're talking to him and stuff, and the whole it's not supposed to mean anything. It's like an Easter egg, right? Like in the ship they have all this alien stuff and they have the xenomorph's head up on the wall, right? I don't think most people got all excited and thought, oh, shared universe. This, I think most people got it. This is like an Easter egg. Like, oh, look, if you look closely, you can see the xenomorph's head on the wall. But like, it eventually did turn into something, and they made some comics out of it, which I didn't read back then. It probably wasn't until a little before this movie came out that I read any of those comics. But anyway, so it's like, it is going to happen. They're both Fox properties, blah, blah, blah. We're going to make the worlds collide here. So it was a big deal to me, this movie, and I need to ask Ryan. I want to, even though I was already living here, I feel like I was in Sydney and I saw this with Ryan and some of my friends from back in the day. I'll have to ask him what his memory of it is. And it's, my disappointment was palatable. It seemed like a movie that had such great potential that does not deliver at all. And we can talk about that as we go. But, I'm in the mood to see it.
I saw this by myself when it first came out in the theater, and then I saw it with two separate groups of friends. So this is the film that I've seen the most in the theaters 3 times.
I did not know that when I was just on my Alien kick here, and I thought, this is next. See, I know Orc knows the movie. I did not know that you saw it 3 times.
And it's not the greatest film of all time, but I like it a lot. I like it. It's fun. It's a fun little movie.
Well, I think over the years, I've come to terms with my disappointment, and now, like, it's like I'm fine with it. Like, I can't recognize as good. I still think, it's a big wasted opportunity. But at the same time, there are things to like about it. Particularly, like, the very first Alien fight is so good. It's really good. But
you can actually see what's going on compared to Requiem,
I know, man. Like... I actually kind of defend Requiem, but for some things, even though it is shitty. But, like, that is one thing. Like, even in the theater, you could not tell what the hell was happening. It was so dark. Oh, my God.
Like, I like to watch it, like, with lights on. And, like, I do have, like, black curtains and stuff like that. But still, it's like, the glare is insane to watch with that movie.
Right. So you have it. So you also have, like, the uncut version, like you said, which I don't even know if I've ever seen.
Right here. Hang on.
I just have access to the theatrical cut, so I don't know.
This is a really cool double pack I got at Walmart.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I think I've seen that before. See, I don't own any of these movies on Blu-ray except the very first Alien, and I do have to do something about that, because, I mean, the quadrilogy's not a bad price, and I've just sort of, I don't know, put it off. I own Alien and Aliens on, like, those old Fox DVDs. They're over there, but it doesn't mean, as I said, I've always been a big fan. Here's the very first Aliens comics, the first omnibus of the original. So this is another alternate to 3 in a way, because at the time this came out before Alien 3. So the very first volume here called
those comics are really cool. I wanted to say really quick.
Yeah, this is the Dark Horse comics.
Dark Horse did like a bang up job, man.
What the fuck is they're called? Outbreak. Yeah, Outbreak and Nightmare Asylum. Outbreak and Nightmare Asylum, they came out before Alien 3, and they basically pick up where Aliens left off. And what's funny is they actually do tell a story with Hicks and Newt in it. But then a few years later, the movie came out, and I guess because I don't know why it mattered, but just so that it wouldn't clash with the movie's continuity. So the version I have, because this is the reprinted omnibus, it's not the original comic. The only retcon they could really do was they lazily changed Hicks and Newt's names, but it doesn't even make any sense. Like now, Hicks's name is Wilkes and Newt is Billy, but it doesn't make any sense to change their names because they keep referencing like what they went through in Aliens, so it's obviously them. So it's so dumb to do that, but I guess somebody was like, no, now that we have we can't have this interfere with the movie, because it's a different continuity, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. But anyway, this is first. So, I own lots of cool Alien stuff. Here is the illustrated script of Aliens, which I really love. I've never finished a script, but I've attempted writing a few. And every time I sit down to write one, I have this next to me because I use it. It's like my guide to how to write a script. So it's pretty cool. It's got some interesting sort of stage direction. It's called Illustrated because it has like screenshots from the movie, as you can see here. So yeah.
Did Cameron write the second one, Aliens, or no?
Yeah.
Did he just
he did. Yeah, he wrote it. Yeah.
So he did Terminator 1 and 2 and Aliens, but he's still a giant prick.
A lot of directors are, right? He's still one of my favorite directors because of that body of work, right? Like I can't ignore, and plus the fact, he wrote them too. I am always impressed by directors that can write, and he can. He created the Terminator world, and he added to the Alien world, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, minus the other 4 films in the franchise. Terminator 1 and 2 is still my favorite franchise. And I love Die Hard 2 and like Beverly Hills Cop. Movies like that. Yeah. Blade as well. But yeah, and then you add in Aliens as well. I think he's not my favorite director of all time, but his body of work may be the best.
He's right up there for me. And I get it, like he definitely is. He has an ego, like a lot of them. Not to go on a thing here, but I just mean the latest director to come out and like trash the Marvel movies because they're popular is Villeneuve of all people. And I'm a big fan of Villeneuve. Like I love everything he's done, and I don't even care about Dune. Like Dune was a book that Ryan liked a lot, and he lent it to me when we were in our teens. I couldn't even get through it. I didn't like it, but I'm so excited about this Dune movie because Villeneuve is so great. So I just mean that's too bad because I really love Villeneuve as a director, but he's kind of come out to be kind of an asshole himself. And again, don't read this the wrong way because there's nothing wrong with somebody saying they don't like some movies. It's just the way he did it, right? Acting like he's all superior and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's getting a little old. The one thing you can say about the Marvel movies from that perspective is, like, even if you don't like them, one thing they're doing that's helping is bringing a lot of money to theaters because, we're in an era where people are worried about them dying. So, it's good that we have like a big blockbuster franchise like that helps from that. So even if you don't like those movies, if you like the theater, you should at least be a little grateful for their success because it's keeping the theater alive a little longer, I think.
Yeah, I want to see Venom 2 and then 007 and then Halloween. Probably I'll watch that on Peacock, but yeah, the first 2 are going to be in theaters, but I don't know whether I want to go because of COVID. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like people who are just like, if you're vaccinated, it doesn't really matter that much. And I'm just like, yeah, it does, you fucking moron. The fuck up.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's funny. After going so long without seeing it in theater because of the situation, in the last like 2 months, I've seen kind of a bunch of things in theater. I saw the Black Widow movie. which I was really disappointed in. I saw The Green Knight, which was cool because it's nice to see a movie that's like just a movie. You know, it's not part of a franchise. It's not based on any. Well, I mean, it is based on something. It's based on a medieval poem. But I just mean, you know what I mean. It's just nice to see sort of a standalone movie that's its own thing. So I saw The Green Knight, and I saw Shang-Chi. And I saw something else in between there. What the hell did I see with Ryan? Oh, and I saw Candyman with Ryan. So in like the last like 2.5, 3 months, I've seen 4 movies, which is pretty good after like going like a year or so without seeing anything. So
I haven't been since Star Wars Episode 9.
wow, that's really long.
Yep.
Yeah, because like in January or February, like just in the weeks before, you know, COVID became the big World War thing, I saw The Invisible Man in theater. And then that was like the last thing I saw for forever. And I remember like back like when Mortal Kombat was coming out, everything was good here. And then like just a couple weeks before it came out, like we had another wave and things shut down again. I was like, shit. So I still haven't seen that. I could have bought it, you know, I could buy it at Walmart, but I'm waiting for it to show up on Crave, which is how I'm watching Alien vs. Predator. Anyway, we blabbed enough. We've given people time. And yes, Ben, I own Prometheus on Blu-ray too. That's funny. The first of these movies I ever got on Blu-ray was Prometheus. I'm not an apologist for Prometheus. I'm just gonna say like there's 2 movies, and there's probably more, but the 2 movies that really come to mind about this thing. So there's a couple movies, and I think everybody has this. There's a couple movies for me where like everything about them should bother me, but for some reason doesn't. Prometheus is one, and Halloween 6 is another. Like they fuck with the story, they do all sorts of things wrong and bad, and yet for some reason I really kind of enjoy them. So anyway, I'll just say that. So we'll get ready here, and we'll do a countdown to Alien vs. Predator. I'm sure I'll have to adjust my volume and stuff. Get this show on the road. I'm excited because I haven't seen this in a long time. It's been at least a decade since I've watched this like start to finish. Like maybe I've seen a scene or here.
I haven't seen it since it came out.
Fuck yeah.
I don't know if I have ads. Hang on 1 second.
Okay, yeah. Get yourself ready.
I'm at the Piracy Warning.
Okay. Mine goes right into the 20th Century Fox thing. So if you can get to there, the 20th Century Fox logo coming up.
All right.
And we'll be cool. Listen.
When it goes dark after the 20th Century Fox.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can do that. Here, I'll just let it play ahead a little.
Yeah.
I'll just go past.
Okay, so a News Corporation company. Now it's dark.
20th Century Fox. I think this is like News Corporation company. You're right.
Yeah, my setup is so scuffed. I have my player behind me, so it's like.
Okay, so I'm at the darkness there too. So we'll do a countdown. All right. We'll do 3, 2, 1. Hit it.
All right, we got the red shit coming up. The credits.
Yep, we're good.
All right.
20th Century Fox presents. AVP.
Yeah, man. When this came out in theaters, I was so excited because
same here.
At that time, we had 2 Predator movies and 4 Alien movies.
Yeah.
So,
and there hadn't been a bad Predator movie yet, right? Like Alien 3, I think is bad, and I don't care who you are. There's nobody that thinks. I don't think anybody thinks all 4 of the first Alien movies are good. Like I don't think anybody thinks that, but I think a lot of people would say that both Predators are solid. I'm surprised, like how little respect Predator 2 gets. I think Predator 2 is a darn good sequel that actually, you know, it kind of takes a lot of risks by how it changes things up so much. Man, this is a lot louder than I was expecting. Sorry. Usually, I have to put
man,
this way up.
This on HD looks so crazy. I feel like I'm in outer space.
Oh man, this is set in 2004. That can't be right. If it's set in 2004, this is a much earlier contact for people to have with the xenomorphs. I mean, the whole thing here is the idea that the xenomorphs have been on Earth for like thousands of years, blah, blah, blah. I'm moving into that. So Wayland, you know, that's the Wayland Industries, which would eventually in the future merge and become Wayland Yutani, which are the ones, you know, that run a bunch of stuff, including the Nostromo, which is the Ripley's ship in the original. It also makes the android that Bishop is part of. You remember that the only actor I know that's in this is what's his name, who plays Bishop. Lance Hendrickson, right? So Lance Hendrickson is in this as like the original CEO. Like that's a retcon they do. The idea is like he was the original CEO, and that's why the Bishop android looks like him. They used like his likeness to make that android. So here's our heroine. I mean, what's weird is like as much as I am fascinated by Antarctica and like it, I feel like it's a real miss for this movie. So obviously, Alien, going all the way back to the original, is heavily influenced by like, the famous horror writer H.P. Lovecraft. He was really the one that brought cosmic horror to people in the early 20th century. This idea, the completely different idea. Before that, horror was always linked to like God and Satan. It was always like ghosts and demons, a werewolf, a vampire. He's the one that was like, no, like it can have nothing to do with any of that. And it can, it's a huge, vast universe full of like horrors that like the human mind can't even comprehend. That kind of stuff. So you see some of that even in Alien, like when they go to the crash. But of course, he has a very famous story called "At the Mountains of Madness," which is about an expedition in Antarctica, and this is written in 1931, so before Antarctica was fully explored. And they find like this mountain range, which is even bigger than the Himalayas, which does not exist in real life, but okay. And then they find the remains of an ancient civilization that is way too old to be human, and they find out it was obviously some sort of alien race, and it goes from there, and all very eldritch abomination stuff. So they really, I think they just say, hey, let's just do kind of that plot for Alien versus Predator. We'll have the idea that the Predators made an ancient civilization in Antarctica back in ancient times before humans existed, and we'll pull the xenomorphs into it too, and it'll be great. And it's not, but I get what they're doing.
You just found a Pepsi Cola cap.
That's a collector's item. All right, so these so a lot of this team are going to be archaeologists. This guy's obviously an archaeologist. And what's funny is like we haven't seen this in this sort of movies, right? But you see it all.
This is like Jurassic Park, kind of.
I was gonna say it's like a Michael Crichton thing, right? It's like some rich guy travels around the world and gathers all these people. It's like, I need you for this secret thing, which is like how like half of Michael Crichton's books start. Same thing. It's like Jurassic Park or Sphere or something like that. It's the same thing, right? See, there it is. There's Wayland, Charles Bishop Wayland. So they use his middle name for the name of the thing. Except this being this kind of movie, they move pretty fast. I mean, this movie's not even 2 hours. So they're just like, they do the gathering super fast. I have the sound low, but I remember this guy has like a really strong, like Scottish brogue.
Yeah.
What is it? Just like a photojournalist or some shit? She's some sort of weird, like, explorer, mountain climber. The other guy's an archaeologist who I think is Italian. It's hard to remember, but yeah, it's the same deal as like a little Michael Crichton thing. It's like some mysterious rich guy has gathered all these people together for their special skills. It's like, I have a secret nobody knows about, and we can't tell you. The whole thing, none of them know what they're walking into, right? So she's like an experienced mountain climber.
This movie is so funny. The ending.
Yeah. We'll get there. Yeah, we get it. You're experienced, blah, blah, blah. You keep a cool head. Man, they didn't even give like an intro to like the others. It was just her and the archaeologist. Like I said, they're really in a hurry in this movie because there's more characters than that. But I guess they felt like they weren't important enough to give them like real introductions. They're gonna get killed off anyway.
Look how dope this looks in HD. I gotta get a 4K setup, man. Holy fuck.
Yeah, me too.
I just don't want to drop the money on it.
I know. Isn't it weird that like a 4K disc isn't really that expensive?
No, the 4K discs are cheap. The players are relatively cheap. They're around $100, and then the TVs are really. I mean, if you get a knockoff brand, they're not really that expensive either.
I mean, I could get a TV now, but if I wasn't saving. All right, so here's our.
There he is, Pumpkinhead
man.
himself.
And the only actor who I'm remotely familiar with in this movie. You know, if Jay was here or something, he'd be pointing out people, but I have no fucking clue. I don't know who any of these people are.
This is an MDPD. We got to come up with a new show name.
Okay.
No Pocket Dimension.
Look at Lance Henriksen. He's in like every like badass sci-fi. I mean, obviously Alien's the one too, but I mean now he's crossed over into Predator with this. He's in Pumpkinhead. I know he's in tons of stuff.
He's in a Hellraiser as well. Yeah,
he's in one of the only vampire movies I actually like, Near Dark. Which is a great movie.
Yeah, I love that movie. It blows my mind, people that haven't seen it and now it's out of print and they can't see it.
Yeah, it blows my mind. Like, why isn't that more widely available? It's a great movie.
Yeah.
And it gets talked up quite a bit by, like people in film.
I always like when people get excited when they haven't seen it and then they check it out. It's pretty cool. Paxton murders it in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's too bad he's dead now.
Oh, I know. And he's the ultimate crossover. He's the only actor. He's been killed by a Predator, a Terminator, and an Alien.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Definitely.
I don't know if that's a real island or not. It could be. Antarctica has quite a few.
Real talk.
Nice. By unsatisfying.
Cheers. This tea's still good.
It's all right.
It's not soda, but come on.
It's not bad. It gets the job done, I guess.
Do you like brisk?
I used to, and now I don't. I think maybe I just got sick of it. Because I liked it years ago. Now I don't really like it. I used to drink not a tea, but a brisk lemonade that was pretty good. Let me guess. She's going to have a bunch of concerns that he's going to ignore. I assume that's what she was just saying. I wasn't paying attention. Oh, blonde panicky one. That's been around since Alien 1. You know she's going to be panicky. Short-haired, blonde, panicky. They're in a lot of sci-fi movies that get killed. And slashers, too. Icebreakers are so cool.
Wouldn't it be crazy to be on one? I'd be freaking out.
Oh, yeah. I what they're doing right now is, one of the least things I would ever want to do in my life, which is, be on, a ship like that way out in the ocean. But I just mean, because where I live, I've seen icebreakers up close. They're pretty cool to look at, but no, I wouldn't want to be on one. They're cool to look at, though. Yeah, so she's going to come in here and talk about how there's all these problems and they shouldn't do it. And she doesn't even know the best part, that there's horrifying monsters waiting for them. She's just talking about, logistically, it's too dangerous to take a bunch of untrained people onto this terrain.
Mine pyramids.
Yeah. It's supposed to be kind of like a parallel, to Ripley, right? Because Ripley, in her introduction, the whole thing was she was no nonsense. And because she, after Kane got the face hugger on his face, she wasn't even going to let them on the ship, right? They're like, open the door, let us in. She's like, nope. And, they overrode her and let her in. So it shows she's kind of doing the same thing here. She's being pragmatic and saying, you got to err on the side of caution here.
This is
I'm a billionaire and I do what I want.
This is kind of noob, but I haven't seen the latest Predator movie and the latest Alien movie. Just because I've been YOLO, fuck life kind of mindset.
They're both bad. I would say Predator's even worse. Covenant, yeah. I think, is at least watchable, and I'm kind of disappointed that it, when I started watching this, I want to watch it because I've been watching all of them. It's not on Crave for me, so I need to find it somewhere else. But I don't think I'll ever watch The Predator again. My God, I hated it. I don't know who directed it, but it wasn't Michael Bay. But it kind of like watches like if it, like Michael Bay's Predator. Like that's how it feels. Like everything's like
Yeah.
pumped up and in your face, and it had like this weird undercurrent of humor, kind of like in the A-Team or something. It was dumb. I saw that in theater with Ryan when it came out a couple years ago. And my God, like we our expectations were low at this point, but it was so bad. Like Covenant pisses me off because it had some actors I like in it, like Billy Crudup and stuff. But Covenant
I'm at
was
a weird point in my
basically
life where I'm just like, I'm a fan of certain films, but like certain shit, if it doesn't really appeal to me or look really, really good, I just like don't check it out for some reason. I don't know why. It's kind of weird. I can't really explain it.
yeah. No, I saw
Well,
both those in the theater.
like Godzilla vs Kong, I'm not the biggest fan of Godzilla, but like, I like the '98 film, like I always say.
I
So
kind of like it too. Like, I mean,
and
I get why it's not good, but like, I don't hate it. Like, I know
and I
people that
just
absolutely hate
I
it.
knew it was gonna be something special by the trailer and all that stuff, so I checked that out. And then Mortal Kombat, I was the minute they announced that, I knew it was gonna be something fun. So
Yeah.
I checked
So
that
looking
out.
forward to finally seeing it. All right, and so up in orbit, we've got the Predators who have been monitoring the situation, I guess. So what's going on here? Because the whole thing, I think, what was they find? It's like the Predators built like this civilization, and they abandoned it. But now that humans are going there, they're going to go back and start up. And what they used to do is like use it as like a training ground, right? Like they would release the xenomorphs on purpose so they could hunt them. I think.
Yeah. How savage would it be with all the fucked up shit we have in life right now if like you're on the bad side of the Middle East conflicts and like you're like what like an innocent family and you're like trying to like not die from like I don't know, let's just say terrorist groups, so I won't go through names. But and then like a bunch of predators show up and they just land and they've got like their lasers and shit. It would be so sick. I don't know.
Well, predators are that's their sign. It's like however bad something is, it can always get worse if predators are there. Because I mean, in the very first Predator, right, they're in kind of like a war zone in some unspecified country, right? It's like we're going on a mission to, rescue these hostages and blah blah blah. It's just like, we killed those bad guys, those guerrilla guys, no problem. We're badass, and then they have to fight a predator, and it wipes them all out except Arnold. See, why is the panicky blonde bringing a gun? It's Antarctica. I'd rather have one and not need it, she says. I mean, again, we know what they're walking into. They need a ton of guns. They need way more guns than one little handgun.
They need a bazooka.
But with the information they have, it's fucking Antarctica. All right, is a mutant penguin going to come at you? By the way, mutant penguins are kind of in the story at the Mountains of Badness. Because one of the things they find is like these like huge, like 6 foot tall penguins, and they're blind and stumble around. And they reason that they're like the descendants and that like they were like genetically engineered to be kind of like cattle, for food. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Oh, shut up, Italian guy. Yeah, the Italian guy hits on her through the whole thing.
She looks pretty good in this movie. I wonder what she looks like now.
Yeah, she's very pretty.
Doesn't this shit make you feel really fucking old? Like, how old are you when this shit came out? I was a sophomore in high school.
Oh, it's like 2021.
Yeah. You can
The
see
early
how
2000s
dated
was
it
a weird
looks.
time, but I did like my life then. Even if things were fucked up around the world, I did like my life then. It's a pretty big expedition. I'll give them credit. Like they're not just some tiny little team.
Yeah, early 2000s were the best, I think. Same here.
See, this movie, like, well, I don't know. I just mean, you never appreciate a time in your life really until like it's years later and you realize that it was a lot better. Because I mean, obviously
You're
I
in a
like the 90s
retirement
too.
home. You're just like, fuck. God damn it.
Yeah. All right, so there's a whaling station down there. from God knows how long ago. But they've detected like a massive pyramid underneath the ice. And then you see all that stuff on like those shows on the History Channel, like Ancient Aliens. It's like, why is it that like pyramids like in Cambodia look so similar to periods across the world in South America and blah blah blah? It's like it must be alien engineering. No, I don't think so. I'm not learning any of these characters' names because they're all fodder to get killed. I think that's one of the main things that bothers me about this. Now I think about it is like obviously
I was gonna get an Ancient Alien picture, but I'm too fucking lazy.
Obviously, you watch any sort of Alien or Predator movie, a bunch of people are going to get killed off. Obviously.
Yeah.
But what bothers me about this movie is a bunch of people here get killed off by not an alien or a predator. A bunch of them get killed by fucking traps. Like, who cares? How lame is that?
Yeah.
I don't want to see them get killed by traps. I don't say don't have the traps, but have them, like, escape the traps and then get killed by the alien. But a bunch of them, I remember, get, like the walls closed in on them or something. Again, this is a brisk pace. If this was a Michael Crichton movie, like they would not have. They'd not even be in the helicopter yet. There would be a lot more exposition. And
they'd be going through rhinoceros, but alien poop. My hand burnt off. Wow. That's one big pile of xenomorph shit.
Yeah. Antarctica still is kind of mysterious, but I mean, there's no mystery left in the world, especially now. Satellites and imagery and planes and stuff. But
people
when you think,
up.
In the course of human history, like Antarctica stayed like it wasn't until like about 1830 or something that people even saw it. Seriously, like in in the years before that, like people had a theory that there was a big icy continent at the South Pole, but nobody actually knew. Like, the first people to maybe see it would have been, like, around 1830 or something like that. And the first people to actually, like, walk around on it and stuff. And I don't just mean, like, a northern tip. I mean, probably, it would have been, like, probably a few decades after that. As I said, even though he wrote it for a long time, it wasn't until 1931 that after his death, actually, I think, or was he dead at this point? I don't know. But anyway, I guess he wasn't dead yet. Lovecraft released Mountains of Madness. Even in 1931, like, we had planes and stuff now, but still they were, primitive planes. So we knew Antarctica was there. People had been on it, even, put bases on it, but a whole bunch of it was not discovered. Like, it's just a science fiction story. But at the time when he suggested that there was a mountain range there bigger than the Himalayas, turns out not to be true, but it could have been. Like, people didn't know back then. There are some big mountains in Antarctica, just not as big as that. But I mean, yeah, so sometime around like the middle of the 20th century, it's like we filled in all the blanks on the map. And now we've got, bring up Google Earth and I can, zoom in on some like some station or something.
I forgot there was a penguin.
Yeah. I'd love to see. Yeah, everybody likes penguins. Who couldn't?
Even Sidney Crosby.
Especially Sidney Crosby, I'd say.
Malkin.
Oh, guess what? Malkin's hurt again. And Crosby's not going to start the season. So good luck, Pittsburgh. You're going to have to start the season without either of them. Because Crosby just had surgery on his wrist.
Imagine going down this big-ass tube. Holy
it looks
shit.
Pretty fun. I wonder where they shot some of this. I'll have to look that up. Probably somewhere like in Scandinavia or Finland or something. They shot the thing in like parts of like British Columbia and maybe Alaska.
Carpenter?
Yeah, the thing, yeah. That in itself, again, is sort of a riff on Mountains of Madness. That being about people in Antarctica discovering, because the idea of there was like the thing was like it was buried in the ice, right? Like it didn't just come land, like it had been there a long time. Meanwhile, back on the spaceship, gearing up Batman style. Or they're gonna do some drilling or something. I can't remember. Yeah, you're really sick and dying or something. Oh, wow, she's so perceptive. She even knows when people are sick. Ooh, I don't know how you're going to be remembered. I guess, obviously, like, this whole thing gets either... I mean, she survives, and since, like, nobody ever made, like, a sequel to this, like, it's hard to figure out, or, like, reason out what happened.
I'm still
Because,
there.
like, a couple hundred years later, when, you know, the Nostromo picks up the alien, like, there's no record of humans ever having contact with the xenomorphs, right? So she's like so she's the only person to survive, spoilers, like contact with the xenomorphs. And I guess she just lived out the rest of her life, and maybe she told people and maybe she didn't, but nobody saw them for like a couple hundred more years until they found them way out in space. He's saying, I need to do this because I don't know, worried about legacy or some bullshit. Yeah, so all these like engineer tech guys, like they're not part of the expedition. They mostly get killed off screen, I think. I think they just come back and find them dead or something. Crazy enough to go on an expedition to Antarctica, but imagine like our goal is to like go like hundreds of feet below the ice. Yeah, that seems like a good idea.
Down a gigantic sewer pipe.
Yeah. Made of ice.
Fuck that. You know, like when some people die sometimes in life, I just wonder, I'm just like, I feel bad for them, but I'm like, was it any surprise really? Like when people are doing backflips and double backflips on like snowmobiles, like, and they're like 50 feet in the air and it just crushes their insides. It's like, you know, I feel bad, but at the same time, it's like, you're doing such crazy shit.
Yeah. What did you think was going to happen? There's a lot of people out there like that. They're just like, I mean, there's one thing to be like a daredevil or an adrenaline junkie. I got a little of that in me, but you know, to have it override like all common sense is another thing.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's people like that, right? And the worst part is usually they don't die right away, right? And that's what makes them more bold. They'll do like several things, like really dangerous things, and they'll live. And they'll be like, I'm invincible, never gonna die. And then, you know, they die, dude.
Yeah. Like that high wire shit. Like fuck that. Oh my god. Or like parkour up on like skyscrapers. Have you seen that shit on YouTube? Oh my god.
Not up on skyscrapers. I'll have to check it out.
They just run at the top on the top of buildings, like the highest in the world. And some guys they just like they'll like be hanging off of the side, like just like for something they usually do, and sometimes they just fall off, just fucking die.
Yeah. So like the Predators sent like 2 probes down or something. I don't know what they just did. I don't know.
Cole, it was three
Okay.
predators.
Okay,
Actually,
so each one contained a predator. That's right. Okay, I wasn't sure if
yes,
they had down yet.
that's right. That's right, Cole. Are we talking comics or are we talking movies here?
I mean, if the Predator's whole deal was they like use the xenomorph to like practice hunting on, like, are they mad the humans are here, or are they just like, we just want to get in on this? It's like it'll be humans and xenomorphs. It'll be crazy mix, and we can participate. Because unlike the humans, the aliens know exactly. I mean, the Predators know exactly what's down there. It's their stuff. They put it there. I don't know. As much as the setting seemed interesting to me, like when I first heard about it or saw it, like by the time they get into their little pyramid of death, it's kind of blah. Here we go. Yeah.
What does that look like?
It's kind of like the pyramid I was on in Chichen Itza.
Let's not brag. Some of us haven't been to Mexico.
It's not the biggest brag, but yeah, it was nice going there.
I'm just fucking
I mean,
kidding.
I can brag about Chichen Itza because, like, if you visit there now, you can't go up on it anymore. It's not allowed. But when I was there, hell yeah, I was up on it. And I can understand why, like, because the whole thing, like, the stairs are like, it's not really like normal stairs, right? And they're so steep and they're so high, and all you can think going up them is, if I fall, I'm taking everybody behind me with me. I'll kill all of us. Like, it's not just like I'll fall, but there's people coming up behind me, and
And you were a little cold, dude, and you fucking went up that thing. You're so lucky. I
was
think
16.
the Mayans, the Incas, and the Aztecs are just like amazing, ripping hearts out and decapitating people. It's fucking insane.
Well, that was more Aztec, but it did bleed over into the others a little bit. It's true.
Then Spain just came over and was like, "We have swords."
I know. I mean, if you want to talk about like European genocide of, indigenous peoples in the West, there's plenty of it. That happened here. It happened, Canada, the U.S. But I mean, it's nothing compared to what the Spanish did in like South America and Central America. I mean, they just wiped people out completely. There are no more Aztecs. And you could say, well, the Aztecs were really hostile, but I just mean, from their point of view, why wouldn't they be? But I mean, the Spanish were just like full of lust for gold. Like, there's gold here. We'll just wipe them all out. And they did a pretty good job of it. Because I mean, yeah, there's plenty of instances in North America of like, I don't know, English or Dutch or French doing like maybe acts of genocide. But in between that, there's also times where they at least, pretended or tried to get along with people. They do treaties and probably break them, or they, do trading and stuff like that. Like, they didn't even try in South America, like the conquistadors and stuff. Their idea was, hey, we know this tribe fights with that tribe. We'll help you fight. And by which they mean is we'll use you as cannon fodder for our fights.
Look at that.
A frozen queen. She all hooked up to stuff. What's going on?
Yeah, it's BDSM alien.
Apparently. So what? They like they must have missed it. They must have like triggered something to wake her up. Yeah. See, this is. Let's see. This plays right into those conspiracy theories that people talk about. The idea that like it's like, look, this is stuff from like cultures from all over the world. Like, this is like where it started.
I gotta go for it now before it gets good. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Which is actually not in Mountains of Madness. Mountains of Madness, they do find like hieroglyphs and stuff like that.
You can look at me at Malkova.
Nice. But they don't actually relate to real human cultures. The whole point is they're completely alien and different. I'm surprised. Like, is this just why do these guys have guns? Like, again, we know what they know. Guns would be a great idea, but in real life, why on earth would you have all these guns for an expedition in Antarctica? There's nothing and no one there. I mean, these guys aren't acting like they're expecting hostile aliens, and yet, look, they're all pretty well armed. I mean, not enough to take down invisible predators, but look, that guy even has some sort of like assault rifle or machine gun or something. What is this? What is their job description? I thought they were like engineers and stuff, but they're armed to the teeth. And if you have guns, the predators will not play fair. It's the stealth camo. As I said, Jess, I think my disappointment has cooled over the years. I mean, I'm never going to get over the fact that, like, I feel like this movie is a massive wasted opportunity. That it should have been great and doesn't even come close to it. But, I can't muster up the rage or hate for it anymore. I can still enjoy things about it. And that's why I was looking forward to watching it again. It's been so many years since I've watched it all the way through. But I felt just crushing disappointment watching this in the theater. I mean, for the first, half hour, 40 minutes, whatever, it had me. It just gets worse. It has one really great scene, of course. Like, the very first encounter you see between a xenomorph and a predator is a great fight scene. It goes just the way I expect. Yeah, Requiem's pretty bad. I can still kind of like things about it, but as Orc pointed out, you can't see a goddamn thing that's happening. I mean, I like that they're finally on Earth in, a normal environment instead of, an ancient buried pyramid in Antarctica. I liked the idea of, aliens and predators, running around in, just, a normal city or something, but they don't really take advantage of it. And they play up, some sort of, teen drama stuff in the background. Who cares? Oh no, this guy's likes a girl, but her boyfriend's a dick. Right. So this is where they'd have the sacrifices, and the face huggers would implant them and burst out of their chests here. Let's see. I've talked through some of this, so let's get a good idea of what's going on. They got the heads on the spines, which we already know is a predator thing. They love that. That's their favorite. That's their favorite trophy. Skulls attached to the spine. Like Sub-Zero. Right, so there were people too. That's part of it too. So does that mean the predators kidnapped people from various ancient societies, and because that's right, they use them to breed the xenomorphs, because these xenomorphs are the ones that we're used to, the ones that came from people, because the idea of the xenomorph biology is they're always a little different based on what species they incubated in. You see that a bit in Alien 3, as shitty as it is, with the quadrupedal dog alien, because it incubated in the dog. Alien Predator Requiem does introduce the concept of a xenomorph predator hybrid. I love how in The Predator, the new one, the shitty one, the big concept is, what if there was a predator that was really big? There's predators, but then there's a predator who's really big. That's the whole concept in The Predator. It sucks. But yeah, I was just disappointed. Hopefully I can find Covenant to watch somewhere. Not because I love it or anything like that, but just because I want, since I've been going through the movies, the next one in line is Covenant. So I gotta find it somewhere. See, by the time Covenant came out, I didn't have too much disappointment because I didn't have much expectation. Covenant is really just sort of Ridley Scott's way of justifying Prometheus and kind of shoving Prometheus down people's throats, I think. Which I have mixed feelings about, because I'm one of the rare people that does not despise Prometheus. I actually like things about it. I want one of those rave glow sticks. Still alive. I wish you weren't. Yeah, so it's a team of 3 predators. There's 2 there. Where's the third? Oh, hello.
My God, how can we like a movie like this? So violent and brutal.
Yet not.
Were you laying eggs earlier, Cole? Jesus.
No.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead. Your thoughts on this gruesome gore and just terrible.
As I said, apparently it's not R-rated, this version. I mean, there is some blood there, but they mostly cut away.
Yeah, I remember it was PG-13 because that's how I saw it so many times. Because I was only 15 at the time. No, I was 14.
Yeah, see, this is why it was the first one I saw in theaters. Because as I said, I was too young to see the others. I mean, every once in a while you hear about a kid that saw R-rated movies, like, because they got, like, their parents to take them. Like, my parents would not have taken me. And by parents, I just mean my mother, because my father has gone to the theater like 4 times in his entire life. I'm not kidding. He hates
No
everything
shit.
about the theater. Like,
That's how
way
I saw
before.
H2O and Resurrection.
Huh, that's funny.
Papa John's. Yeah.
But not only would they not have taken me, but I just mean, like, if I just would not have wanted to go anyway. I wouldn't want to go with my parents or somebody else's parents. Like, to me, it was important to go with my friends. And if we couldn't get into an R-rated movie, okay, we'll go see something else.
I used to do this thing where every Friday in middle school, I would call everybody up. I would get everybody's number in like the agenda book, and I'd call everybody up, and I'd be like, "All right, we're going to Subway, or we're going to get pizza, then we're gonna go see a movie." And then like, if they didn't have any money, I would just like take all my chore money and pay for their ticket. That's kind of what I did in like 7th and 8th grade. It's pretty fun.
That's cool. Never really saw a movie in that big of a group. I mean, a couple times I went to the movies as part of like a birthday party, so that might have been a bigger group. Not huge though.
We usually go with like around 5 or 6 people, but I'd literally call everybody. Like I'd get off the bus and then instantly call everyone I knew.
Okay, so it's 2004, so it's 100 years since the last time apparently stuff was triggered, and that's the answer of what happened to that last whaling station. Because those people must have inadvertently stumbled upon it. There's some predator weapons.
Don't they use those later, if I remember?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
At least one of them does. She must. What do you think, Scotty?
Beat me up, Scotty.
Like finding Moses's DVD.
I'm Italian. Let me see your black boobies.
Okay, so her name is Lex. Good to know, since she's really the only important character besides Mr. Wayland. And now she's like, okay, we're here, let's go. Give her credit. I mean, it's hard to imagine any way of me like being in this situation or that. But if I was here at this point, looking at this stuff, I would want to stay because I have that curiosity in me. So as much as I would not want to go to Antarctica and would not want to go on the boat, would not want to go down the ice tunnel, would not want. Once I got here and saw all this stuff, I would kind of want to stay because I would just be curious. I'd be like, what the fuck is this? I want to find out. Anyway, predators are monitoring the situation. Now time to.
I like how they have Rastafari and dreadlocks. It's so cool.
Yeah,
that's so when they run. So, are you an alien guy or a predator guy?
I'm really both. I really am both. I don't think I prefer one to the other.
I like both, but I'm a predator guy, man.
I think Alien has kind of a richer mythology, maybe. But, I mean, the Predator is maybe the cooler creature. Although the Alien is cool, too, just because of how different it is. I mean, the Predator, at the end of the day, as weird as it looks, is still, like, bipedal and human-like. What I like about the Xenomorph is the whole point of it's something completely... Like, it really does take the idea of Alien. Because, I mean, it came out in 1979. And before that, like, movies... The aliens were kind of... I don't know. They did not seem really that alien. They just seemed kind of like, I don't know, something with a weird head or something like that. Like, I like the idea of the Xenomorph, like everything about it being so different. And of course, the idea is the Xenomorphs are not natural creatures. They weren't created by nature. They were engineered by another alien race, which is why their behavior is so extreme. Like, they don't have group behavior. They don't mate. They don't compete for food. They kill anything they come into contact with, like, because that's their purpose. That's the only reason they exist, is to kill. Oof. It is cool to see some slow motion facehugger there, because we hadn't seen that before. In fact, there was no slow motion in any of the movies up to this point, I don't think. Oh, they're in 2 different groups? I missed that. You know, Blondie got her face hugged before she could panic, so I guess I was wrong on that.
Oh, Blondie.
Okay, so they must have known something if they brought all these guns. See, I can't remember. It's been too long. But Miller there, he's like, you know, some sort of like badass mercenary. Won't save you. Verheiden, that's a good name. Oh, look at Scotty's ears. My God. Some unfortunate ears. I mean, following along, we're about 44 minutes in.
What film have you seen the most in theaters?
I don't know if I've ever seen anything more than twice. There's a couple movies I've seen twice, and some, you know, they're not even necessarily good. It was maybe like I saw it, and then Ryan was like, "Want to see it?" I was like, "I already saw it, but I'll go again," type thing. Have I seen anything more than twice? That's a good question.
Man, facehuggers creep me the fuck out.
Yeah. I remember years ago, before my comic store moved, in the original location, they used to have a big plush one that I kind of wanted to buy. They had it like hanging from the ceiling. I thought it was pretty cool because it was like actual size.
Oh, wow.
Isn't it interesting how they speed up the gestation period just for the sake of the plot? Like, remember, it actually took a while in Alien and Aliens. And this is just like 5 minutes, we're ready. There's one thing that, like, I don't know how I feel yet about the script here in this version of Alien 3, is the idea, like, now you can get infected by the aliens without them even having a facehugger implant on you. The idea is, like, you get infected by like, their pheromones or some other way, and rather than having a chest burster burst out of you, instead, like, you basically yourself turn into a xenomorph and, like, burst out of the human skin and stuff. It's weird. But it makes the infection spread. So it becomes an infection rather than just like something implanted in you, and it like spreads super rapid, which is kind of cool on one hand. On the other hand, it seems a little too easy. Because I mean, I at least liked before that the aliens had like a process, but the idea here is like the aliens have like evolved, so like they can do it even faster or something.
So I like when someone can take a really good book and adapt it into a screenplay.
Yeah. Well, this is the other way around, right? This is a book based on a screenplay.
Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting.
You know what I mean, though.
I know. Yeah. There are a few other like alien novels, but they aren't considered canon as far as I know.
It's really hard for me to follow a bunch of shit in a book and like get the full picture of something that someone's trying to describe. So that's why I like when a film can show it. Audiobooks don't really do it justice.
Audiobooks are really big, and like I got no problem with them at all. They're just not for me, and I don't mean to sound like superior about it, but like honestly, the idea is like all I can think of is like I'm being read to, and all I can think is I can read. I'm not a child. I don't need somebody to read to me. And I know people have many reasons for why, like they say like it's good to put on when I'm driving and things like that. That's fine. You don't have to. Nobody has to justify liking audiobooks to me. I'm just saying, if I only read audiobooks, I'd never get anything read. They're too slow. You know, I can read in my head 1,000,000 times faster than somebody reads out loud to me. Now, I don't just plow through every book I read. Like, if I push myself, I can read about 1,200 words a minute. But I don't generally read at that speed, but I still read pretty fast. So, like, if I was just reading audiobooks, like, it would take me forever to get through anything. I myself like reading out loud. If anybody wants me to read to them, I'm pleased to do it. But I'm not interested in having somebody read to me. Like right now, I'm seeing a lot like the Sandman comics by Neil Gaiman. They're getting like an audio treatment, and people love it and has all these great actors. And I don't really care. Like, I'd just rather read the comic.
Is that the movie, or are people still wasted outside of where you're living?
Oh yeah, there's still some people out there. They were gone for a little while. I don't know if they're the same people or not.
I was like, why are they there? And then I was like, oh yeah, it's Friday.
Yeah. Okay, so these guys are stuck in one of the trap rooms. You're not going to make it out of here. I know for a fact you're going to die. Oh well. I think they're just trying to mislead us here. I mean, we already know from the beginning that she's the main character and she's the survivor, but they have to do what they can to try to create the suspense. It's like, they might live. See, he's got a will for living, and no.
He's got a Pepsi Cola necklace.
Why does he think that was good luck or something? That's weird. He's an archaeologist on a dig, and then he finds a Pepsi thing, and he's just like, this is sentimental value for some reason.
I thought it was going to be an alien claw because I forgot what it was, and then I saw it. I was like,
see, I don't really care about this trap room stuff. It seems enough to me that there's aliens and predators running around. We don't need trap rooms on top of it. This isn't Cube.
Yeah, it must be nice to write for a movie and then just get paid a shitload of money.
Well, it's nice if they wind up not ripping your script apart and adding 13 people onto it, which is what happens in so many movies, right? Yeah. And by the time the movie comes out, it doesn't really resemble what you wrote. But one thing that is also sort of cool is as I said, William Gibson wrote a script for Alien 3 that never came to be, but he still got obviously he wouldn't get the money that he might have gotten, but he still got paid. It's not like he didn't get any money at all. He got paid for it. So that's one thing about movies. It's you can be involved in the process early on, and none of your stuff gets used or winds up in the movie, but they still pay you because it would still work. Kevin Smith got paid for working on that Superman movie that never saw the light of day. See, do we need that? Just let him fight it out. But no, he has to drop through a trap door and have his legs break. Oh, it was Verheiden, too. No, not Verheiden. Yeah, I just feel like it's a little overkill to have these traps and moving walls and things. So he's the first one to see a xenomorph, is he? Yeah. And cuts away. There's your PG-13 right there. Oh, yeah, I thought you were going to survive, dude.
I've never seen this movie unrated, but I have it on this disc.
Yeah. I'll have to try to pick it up somewhere. Oh, there's one of the Predator guns.
I wonder how much into a rated R it was.
What's weird is they used to actually say the F word in PG-13 movies, but nowadays that means there isn't any. As if, like, I don't know. I mean, I get it, the F word is a strong curse, but it's still, I don't know. Oh, this knife breaks on the net. Pretty cool. What the fuck are they doing out there? Sorry, now I'm getting distracted by the noise of the people outside. Is he impaled? Oh, yeah. See, if you get kicked hard enough to fly through the air, your ribs are all broken. So she's already done. But, you know, it's a movie. But in real life, she's done. Here's the best part of the entire movie. So the alien takes out one of the predators, and we go from here. There's your DVD cover. So scratch one predator.
There's still 2 alive.
Yeah. This is good. This is the best part of the movie, this scene, I would say. Because it actually is well thought out. Like, it shows their capabilities. I mean, Predator's big. And armored.
Not for long.
I'd have to stay and watch. Predator gets the upper hand for part of it, but he's going to ultimately lose the fight. Spoilers. More slow-mo. It looks like the Predator's got a handle on this, but...
Fucking acid.
Using its own blood as a weapon. Oh. Uh-oh. Now, we know they have infrared, but they must have other stuff, too. Because it was established, like, in Aliens, that the aliens are, like, cold-blooded or whatever. They do not show up on infrared. So, I don't know what other sort of stuff he has on his headset display there, but he cannot find the xenomorph. And they can be super quiet when they want to be.
Yeah, I don't know why this movie gets so much hate. It's a fun movie. No. Oh.
Yeah. That's the best part for me, that fight. It's a great fight.
That scene with him standing over him.
Yeah. Well, just the whole fight's really good. Predator had the upper hand for a while, but the alien pulled it out.
So now there's only
I feel
one
like it's kind
Predator,
of
right?
downhill from this point on, really. Like, it's not like the movies were ever known for fantastic writing and dialogue, but I remember the dialogue at this point really starts to grate on me. Like when the Italian guy is like, oh, maybe the Predator, we can team up with him. He's like, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and all this shit. Like, it's so stupid.
There's only one Predator left.
Yep. It's going to kill Wayland, because Wayland is too stupid to run. It sees that he's sick and not worth it, but because you know how Predators are like, with their like code of honor or whatever. It's like, this is a sick, frail human. He's not worth my time. He's full of cancer or whatever. However, if you push it, it's like, come on, dude, I gave you a pass. You're fucked now. You die in most of your movies, too.
He's like the Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, he dies in most of the movies I could think of with him, he dies. Technically, he doesn't die and get aliens, but he does get ripped in half. Because he's a android. He dies in Pumpkinhead. And he dies in Scream 3. And he dies in Near Dark. Probably some more that I'm not thinking of. Alright, so now it's just her and the Italian guy. And once again, the movie, I think, tries to trick us. It's like, okay, these are our survivors. These two are going to team up and they're going to get out of here. Facehugger can't get through the mask anyway.
This is fucking dope. I remember this. Oh, man.
Fatality. Taking off his mask. I don't remember why. In the Predator series, this would be the obligatory part where you say, one ugly motherfucker, but I'm not sure what they're going to say. Oh, he like marks himself for the kill or something. Oh, he's just marking the mask. Oh, himself too, anyway. It's like, yeah. Once again, we're giving you the idea that it's like, we got this from the Predators. It was their idea. Yeah, this must be the part where they start to explain the history, because remember there was like a flashback sort of showing the society, and yeah, this must be it. Yeah, must be it. He figures this out pretty fast.
Top of the temple. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
This part's really cool. I like it. Look how cool it looks. I'm not saying it was aliens, but it was aliens.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. They come back every 100 years. And they'd sacrifice them with xenomorphs. And then they'd go for a hunt, and then they'd leave. The idea is if they lost, they'd just nuke the site from orbit because it's the only way to be sure. Too many. I don't know how he's getting all this. Like, can he suddenly read their language or something?
I don't know, but that scene was pretty cool. Predator nukes, the best. It's like a SAR bomb on crack.
Yeah, he gets it. You think? It's a trap.
Oh,
Oh, I forgot the Scottish guy. That's why I pulled away. He's been cocooned. Your turn. Ryden's a little busy. I don't think he can shoot anything. Okay, maybe now they're overdoing the slow-mo, but I did appreciate it the first couple times. Oh, you're fine, except there's like 100 other eggs in here. Shit.
Oh man, that's creepy. Fuck.
Set things right.
Hey.
Yeah,
Bunch
what's
of
that thing?
people.
Like, was the idea that the Predators, like the game for themselves, was they were supposed to fight their way in and get those guns? Because she says something like, oh, you know, time to pick a side, she says.
A lot of
I don't
people
know
are
about that.
streaming tonight.
Well, they don't matter.
Oh, brutal. Did you see the chat with Jess?
Yeah, I tried my best to answer. Jess, I mean, I appreciate anybody watching, so I try to answer. Yeah, there he does the my enemy is my friend thing. I mean, I think he had it right the first time. Like, she's saying, like, you know, they're not hunting us, but he's like, it is true that they use us like cattle. And we did see them brutally murder a couple of us, so it's not like the Predators are just, like, on our side. But she is going to team up with one, which is a little hokey. Thank you. Game to please. Fucking springs in this. Now we're getting to the parts that I don't remember very well, because I feel like all the best stuff has happened, and the rest isn't as good.
Oh man. Cliffhanger.
Yeah. See, and from this point on, I only really remember the broad strokes of what happens. Does he die this fast? I guess he does.
I remember them teaming up. That's like embedded in my brain.
Yeah. They team up and they have to fight the queen. But there's still some other stuff to happen before that, and I don't really remember. But I guess that's the end of Sebastian.
The most eerie moment too is when the queen is like going under sea and like getting dragged down really, really deep. Like it's like a really seeing that on the big screen was pretty intense.
Yeah, I'll give it that. All that's left is this Coca-Cola bottle thing. Or Pepsi Cola, sorry. Pepsi Cola.
Ooh, snack packs. Fuck yeah, Ben.
I haven't had one of those in years.
I was trying to
Isn't that what like Adam
multiple
Sandler's talking about in
Billy Madison?
Billy Madison. Yeah. It's like, where's my snack pack or some bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Yeah, I don't remember this. I don't know what's gonna happen. Oh,
Watch is broken,
watch.
and then like an alien's trying to kill her, and then the predator. Oh no, the predator's here first.
What up?
You trying to fuck?
There's a really weird part where it almost looks like you think they're gonna kiss because their heads get really close together. It's messed up.
That would have been funny.
It's like, look, I got your gun. You can have it. Yeah, I don't know if the predators believe in the enemy if my enemy is my friend. They believe more like we're hunters and you're all game. So. Here we go. Yeah, she's gonna save the predator's life.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, that extra mouse is gonna get you. Predators thinking it over. Yeah, we're incoming. Oh, there's the one that killed his friend. With the marked up head. And Queenie.
When they run here, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, because they do the stupid slow-mo again, don't they?
I think so.
Let's see.
It's just really funny.
I think he gives her the weapon. Let's see. Where is he? Ugly creature. Oh, that hurts his feelings. Thinking it over. Yeah, she did kill that alien. What to do? Oh yeah, he does something with the tail.
Oh, the shield. Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh yeah, he gives her the
Yeah,
head.
that's funny.
You know I don't speak English, but sure. It's like, see? Doesn't bleed through it. Thanks, I've always wanted one.
This part's so funny. Oh my god.
Behavior's a little different here, because it seems like they're like, what are your orders, my queen? Or something. Like, get me out of this thing. I want to kick some ass on my own. Yeah, because the queen was never supposed to get loose. The predators ensured that she's just there for breeding purposes. She's not supposed to run around, but she's about to. Oh, I'm tired. Bring this home. Oh, Scotty's camera. I don't think Scotty made it. No, he's fine.
Oh.
Oh, I guess not. Any bullets left in that? He fired off a bunch. Got a bullet left, you better use it. Does not compute. They say that, but it's still Antarctica. I mean, I know they're good swimmers. We've seen them swim, but I mean, are they going to swim all the way from Antarctica to like Australia or whatever? I mean, if they reach the surface, they're in Antarctica, which, yes, would be a problem, but this impresses the predator. So killing out of necessity. That's what we do. Good job.
Good job. Look at this big bitch.
Unbound. pissed off. Yeah, time to leave.
Oh, I forgot he does this.
You gonna burn them?
No, he throws his thing.
Oh, his self-destruct thing.
Yeah, he throws it off of his arm,
Oh.
I think. Yeah.
That's some good pantomime he just did for. He's like,
This is the part where they're running, yeah.
Hearts on fire, strong desire. There, yeah. There it is. Does she have the access code?
Oh, he dies right here?
No. This is where she saves him. Yeah, and then see, it's the same kind of thing they did like with Die Hard, right? It used to be yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker, but then they get into like PG-13 range, and he goes yippee-ki-yay, mother, and then it like cuts out. It's the same bullshit here. You're one ugly motherfucker. Can't say it. Okay, that explosion did not look great, but now they're like riding a rocket sled. I know technically it doesn't have rockets on it, but it's a little ridiculous. Rocket sled, ho! It'd be pretty anticlimactic if something just fell on them right now. You fight your way out and kill all those aliens, and then just like some big beam falls on you and kills you.
For sure.
I'll have to look up who played the Predator here. The original Predator, of course, died soon after Predator 2. What was his name? Like something Michael Hall or something? Look that up.
Face reveal. No.
Yeah. Guess the difference, but yeah. What she said, ugly motherfucker to the alien, not to the Predator. I guess that's a switch too. Kevin Peter Hall. That's it. His name is Kevin Peter Hall. He was 7'2". He was the Predator in the first two Predator movies.
Damn.
But he died pretty soon after. I think he maybe had AIDS or something. Yeah, he got AIDS from a contaminated blood transfusion. Like, how shitty is that?
Pretty shitty.
Yeah, Kevin Peter Hall. It's still amazing to me that like he took over as the Predator for Jean-Claude Van Damme, who was Predator first. It's like, I don't know. Maybe the Predator should be a little bigger than like 5'9". Just a thought. And Jean-Claude Van Damme is disappointed, saying, "This isn't helpful. Nobody can see my face." It's like, because you're an alien. Did you think that you were going to play an alien that looked like Jean-Claude Van Damme? It's weird all around. It's tail impaling time. No. Adrenaline's a hell of a thing, but she's probably like freezing to death right now. It's fucking Antarctica. It's not like a little cold. It's like colder than you've ever felt in your entire life, ever. It's cold that would like bite into you. Like, I know you've felt it before. Feel that cold where it actually burns you?
Yep.
When it's like the wind chill?
That's how my fucking house feels in the winter. Blows my mind. People never get to experience that.
I know. It's hard to explain it to people that don't.
Yeah, they're just like, well, it's 40. That's cold. I'm like,
Because
no.
I was like, you think if you like put your hand in a freezer or stepped into a walk-in freezer, you think you know cold. Oh, that is great. That is cool. That's a really cool jump and move. I can actually remember the coldest I've ever been in my entire life. It was February of 2003. I was driving with my parents from here to Sydney because it was February break, and they'd come up to get me. I'm not sure why, because usually for that I would just take the bus, but for some reason they came up to get me, so I was driving with them. And we were well into the drive, and there was lots of snow, very deep snow. Oh, there he goes. And we were most of the way through. We were in Cape Breton. We weren't too far from Sydney. We were about 40 minutes outside Sydney. We were around Ben Yon. And the wind was... It wasn't snowing, but there was lots of snow on the ground. But it was super windy. So the conditions were crazy because it was all blowing snow. So you could barely see anything. My dad lost control on some ice, I guess. And we crashed into a snowbank. And so the car was all like buried in snow. And luckily, I don't know how they knew, but there were some people from a house nearby, and they came to help us. So I got out of the car. I had a winter jacket, but I wasn't wearing it. I had packed the winter jacket, so I was just wearing kind of like this Helly Hansen sort of all-weather spring jacket. And I got out of and I didn't have gloves either. And I got out of the car to try to help. And it must have been about, I want to say maybe minus 30 with the wind chill. And the jacket, I felt like I was wearing paper. And like I was only out for maybe 2 minutes trying to help dig in the snow, and I had to get back in the car. And like the whole way home, I just remember like my legs and everything. I was on fire because I went from the cold into the warmth, and like it burned me, and I was just like on fire, and it took forever. But that's the coldest I've ever been. Just remember my jacket literally felt like paper, like I was wearing paper, and the wind just cut into me like a knife.
Yeah. I try to just like not leave the house.
Oh, I forgot that a whole bunch of other predators.
Look at that. Holy shit.
I mean, it makes sense. The 3 were sent, but they were like monitoring the situation. Now we'll have a similar situation to like what happened with Danny Glover. They're like, respect, yo. It's too bad about Emilio. I'm assuming that was his name.
Think so.
He looks like one.
They have a little stretcher for him.
Makes you wonder, the other 2 that died, are they going to retrieve their bodies? They died as warriors too. Or are they like losers because they died first? Like, they don't get burials. They suck. It's like, here, have some alien metal that you can't show anyone. How the fuck does she even get out of here? I don't even remember. They leave and then she just freezes to death. She's like, I did it. I survived. Oh shit, I'm stranded in Antarctica. And then she just freezes to death. But no, she survives somehow. But again, the predators are like, respect yo, but you got to figure your own way out of this. we're busy. We have things to do. So while this would be like human, like not counting the ancient times that they flashed back to, like this is like humankind's like first direct contact with the xenomorphs, or somebody actually survives. But it's like the third time in not too many years that people have like survived predators, because Arnold survived Predator and Danny Glover survived Predator 2. And just like her, he even got some souvenirs out of it. So I wonder, like, did he tell anybody? Because, like, he was part of a police investigation where all these gang members are getting slaughtered.
Doesn't he have a xenomorph in him right here?
Yeah, that's how it ends. So, like, for a possible sequel, it does eventually. They do actually use this in the sequel. People forget, but they do use this. This is used in Requiem. It's like, it's some badass hybrid. Boom. So yeah, I'm glad I saw it again. Paul W.S. Anderson. W.S. Anderson. How could I forget
he did all the Resident Evil movies, Mortal Kombat, and this too?
Yeah, so he's got a type. Like, none of his movies are great, but they get the job done.
They're pretty fucking entertaining, man.
They're entertaining. They're popcorn movies. As I said, seeing this movie again, like I still don't like it, and I feel like it's too bad. Like it could have been way better, but there's definitely some good stuff in there. As I said, the years have passed, and so I've kind of gotten over my initial disappointment. I just remember walking out of the theater being pretty upset at the time, but now that's faded over time, and I've seen way worse, like Predator, like The Predator. My God, don't watch that. You will not be happy. Because I know you love Predator. You will not like The Predator. It sucks. It really does feel like Michael Bay's Predator, even though it's not him. But yeah, I'm glad I got to see it. As I said, I'm a big Alien kick now, so I had to see this. So I have to see Covenant soon, and if I can see Requiem, I might as well watch it. But these were the ones that were available on Crave for me. It was the first 4 Aliens plus this. Actually, is the other on here? For some reason I can't turn off credits until like they go normal. This is still showing stuff, so it's in me to I have to watch them for some reason. See, it's still showing stuff, so I won't turn it off. Is that her name? Santa Lathan? I don't know any of these actors. None of them went on to do anything, that's for sure. But there's Lance. Lance the man. Man, he was old then. How old is he now? I think he was in an episode of like the Hannibal show when he was super old. And that was like 5 years ago. Yeah, I don't know any of these people. Karsten Norgard? Sure. Some Norwegian guy, maybe. But yeah. As long as the credits are still like showing pictures and things, I can't turn them off. A Paul W.S. Anderson film. Respect. Okay, there we go. So go back here. I'm pretty sure those are the only ones that are Alien, blah, blah. Yeah, and I also watched the documentary Memory, The Making of Alien, which is pretty good. But yeah, no, those are the ones that are available here. So I wonder if somewhere has Covenant. Because, I mean, Covenant's not good, but, like, I need to watch it because I've watched all the others.
Yeah.
But that was fun.
Good times.
Glad we got to do that. I'm glad you were available for a movie you saw 3 times in theater. Pretty good. But, yeah. But I'm in a big alien kick. I'm still about 3/4 of the way through this book. I already kind of know what happens because even though it's different from the comic, it still follows the general beats of the comic. So I more or less know what's going to happen. But I do enjoy the added details and stuff. It's pretty good. I don't even remember why. I was reading about Alien 3. Like, I don't even know why they didn't like that script. It seemed like pretty good script. I think maybe part of it was like they didn't like the fact that like Ripley is in it, but Ripley like does like nothing in it because she's basically like on the sidelines in a coma during it, and the focus more goes to Hicks. Maybe they didn't feel like it was strong enough for Hicks. I don't know. Who the hell knows? But yeah, AVP, good stuff.
AVP.
You know me.
You down with AVP? Yeah, you know me.
Yeah, I forgot to put the "you down with," but people got it. Yeah, you down with. Let's see here. Let's see what I can find. Just look. I'm looking on Prime now, and I can't spell. I cannot spell. Let's see here. Covenant. No, Covenant's not on my normal Prime. I'd have to rent it, so that's not helpful. I don't think I have access to any of these. It's good that I own Aliens, because like anywhere you see streaming Aliens, it's not the director's cut, and I've just gotten too used to watching the director's cut. Like I've actually seen, even though like I said, I was too young to see those movies in theaters. I've seen both Alien and Aliens in theaters, like years later. And as great as it was to see Aliens in theater, it was a little disappointing because it was not the director's cut. Because to me, I'm so used to the director's cut, it just felt like scenes were missing. Okay, so Prime's not useful for this. My controller's gonna die. Fucking controller's gonna die any second. See what Netflix has to offer.
Yeah, the battery life on controllers suck.
I know. Well, that's one good thing. I got the Switch Pro controller, and its battery life is amazing. You can charge it, and it's good for like days.
Really?
Yep. The charge is really good on the Switch Pro. But yeah, every day I have to plug this damn thing in.
If you're straight up gaming, the PlayStation 4 controller is like 6 hours.
Yeah, never long enough. And I know because I was playing the hell out of fucking Ghost of Tsushima. See, when poor Wednesday died, I had to do something to occupy my time, so I just played the shit out of that game. Like, I would play it for like 6 hours, like, no joke. I just spent like an entire week just playing the hell out of that game. Now I'm playing the new game plus, but I mean, it's such a big game. I mean, it took almost 80 hours to beat. No Alien on Netflix. Netflix is useless. Stupid Netflix. So yeah, I might have to wait a bit before I can find Covenant. That's annoying. Ugh. Come on, you stupid cord. I can't reach. Anyways, I'll figure out a way to cross that bridge. But that wraps up for tonight. Alien vs. Predator. I'm glad I got to see it again, and I'm glad I had Orc along with me. And we thank anybody that tuned in. It's a pretty fun movie, yeah. Say that about Paul W.S. Anderson. Like, yeah, he makes maybe not great cinema or anything like that, but pretty fun films, pretty entertaining stuff.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a good way to go back in time.
Yeah, for sure. Because, I probably hadn't seen that movie all the way through in at least 10 years.
I still remember getting my popcorn and my soda and walking inside the theater the first time I saw it by myself. And sitting down and then seeing everything.
I just remember really small bits and pieces. I know I was with people, but I can't remember who. Part of me thinks I was in Sydney and that Ryan and some of those other people were there, that I did not see it with my college friends, but maybe I did. I'll ask him and see what he remembers. But I certainly remember being disappointed. But as I said, these years later, I can deal with it. The disappointment's more or less faded. It is what it is. It's not bad. It was entertaining. Glad to watch it again. But yeah, it's certainly probably more entertaining than Covenant, and Covenant's the one I want to watch next. Maybe in between, I'll watch Prometheus since I own it. Prometheus might be the best looking. Prometheus, maybe I get why people are like pissed about story stuff and acting and stuff, but it looks great. Prometheus really holds up. I mean, it's not that old. It's from 2012. I just mean its effects and everything look really good. It's a really great looking movie.
Yeah, Prometheus.
But I understand why people don't like it. I totally get why people don't like it, but I still kind of like it. I don't defend it in any way. Like when people tell me all the things they think are wrong or shitty about Prometheus, I'm like, you're right. But I like it kind of anyway. Like I don't stand up and say, well, actually, like, no, I pretty much agree with them. But for some reason, I just like it anyway, kind of thing. But yeah. But hopefully I can track down Covenant to watch sometime soon. But yeah. And I definitely have some other comics to track down too that Dark Horse put out. Not really old ones, some of the newer ones. There's a whole thing, the really cool thing that ties Prometheus, Alien, and Predator all together that they did a few years ago. I wish I bought it then because now it's harder to find, but find a bit of that. It's called Fire and Stone. Really big project. I didn't read it back then. Now I'm trying to piece it together. Anyway, that'll do. So thanks a lot, anybody that tuned in. We're glad to have you along. And, you know, these are pretty informal, but, you know, probably in the next little while, Orc and I will get another live commentary of something or other up. And in the meantime, I do a few by myself sometimes. The last one I didn't really want to do it by myself. I was hoping somebody show up. When I did Romeo Must Die the other night. I was but people weren't around for it. But because yeah, there's some I know I'm going to do by myself. I have some ambitious ones. Like I think I might do some of the Harry Potter movies. I think stuff like that. I'll do those on my own. But stuff like this, it's good to have.
The Harry Potter, they're not bad movies at all, but I just can't get into them.
Yeah, I understand that. As I said, I mean, I was sort of built for it. I'm not exactly built for it because I am a bit older, because there's a lot of people now that are like, you know, they're like 30 or whatever. They're like, I grew up with the books. I didn't grow up with the books. I was like maybe 15 when I read them. Sorcerer's
Stone. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the first book came out in 97, and I probably read it sometime in 98 or 99, and then I got into them. So, you know, I was already in my mid-teens. I wasn't a kid. You know, so it's a bit different. But I just mean I definitely was a fan of the books, and the movies for the most part are pretty good. I mean, the only one that really bothers me is the fifth one, because I think the fifth is still the longest book. If it's not, it's the second longest book after like the last one, of course. And you know, the last one is so big they made it into 2 movies. But the fifth one they didn't make into 2 movies, which is kind of unfortunate, because the fifth movie they just cut so much out and so much is short. It really bothers me. But for the most part, they're pretty good movies, and they did especially good job with like casting and stuff. So yeah, I'm thinking that I'll go through doing commentaries of those maybe on my own next while. I need stuff to occupy myself and distract myself this wonderful year we're having. But anyway, thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next time with something, I'm sure. Peace out. Bye-bye.
Later.
Good night.